I was asking if you lifted.
All right, here we go. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Active Reload. We're back. Going to be talking a little Gears of War Judgment tonight. We have myself, Arctic, Fatal Strike, Captain Barbosa, and as I'm sure some of you know, Chubbs in the competitive community. And first off, we're going to start with the positives and negatives of Gears of War Judgment as we know now and how we think they're going to affect the game. So, Arctic, if you want to start off with that.
Sure. So pros and cons. Is that what we're?
Yep.
Yeah, pros and cons of Judgment. So from my experience, I think one of the things that probably comes to mind, and I guess Barbosa would be the person that kind of keeps me in check with this, since he went to the playtest and we got a lot of experience with it. No stopping power in terms of multiplayer, like traditional multiplayer. That really was a big thing that I think a lot of us kind of looked at Gears 3 and were like, rifles feel really strong. I felt like rifles were pretty good overall, so that's probably one of my big pros is no stopping power. Active reload damage boost being gone is another one. I think multiple times we talked about on previous, I'm going to call it previous season of active reload. Uh, we kind of said, if like the shotgun didn't have active reload damage, perhaps it would be a little bit better, or it would feel more consistent. So that being gone is a big time plus. And I think the overall pace of the game is a lot better in terms of speed. It has more of a Gears One feel to it, where it's like high octane action. And I think a lot of people will enjoy it. Now, some of the cons, and I don't. It's really hard for me to put some of this into perspective because I haven't seen it played at a high level of play. But the loadouts could be an issue in terms of whether or not one primary and then a shotgun not having a shotgun is going to be an issue. It's definitely going to change how competitive teams. I guess go into game. Their pre-game game plan. Are they going to have a guy lancering? Are they going to have a guy? I'm going to say hammer bursting, but it'll probably be banned. Lancering or Marksa, or what are they going to roll with? Who's going to be their shotgun player? It changes how power weapons are going to be played. So I think a lot of those things are pretty interesting to kind of think about. The other major one that could be a con is the lack of maps, and we kind of talked about at the playtest. At the playtest we didn't really know how many maps there were going to be, but it got announced that they were coming out with more maps, and obviously people that are playing the leaked version, they're all screaming and hollering about there only being 4 maps, and then Epic announced, I think it was last week or the week before, that there's going to be more maps. So there's like 6 now in total. Does that sound right to you guys? 6.
I think so.
That means we won't have a lot of options to choose from. A lot of maps on Gears 3 didn't play out very well on the competitive scene. So that whole process kind of hurts the competitive scene of having to choose, what maps are we going to run with? Does this map work? Does it work with this game type? So those are things that I think kind of really affect us when I talk about us, the competitive community. Other than that, I really can't think of too many cons. People talk about the reticule, the crosshair being on screen. That's really negligible. There's a lot of other games with in my opinion, a much higher level of play than Gears of War that have on-screen reticules, and it really doesn't matter. Like if you're at the top of the food pyramid, you're not going to all of a sudden, or the food chain, you're not going to all of a sudden be playing against minnows, and then those dudes are going to be that much better. It's not. It's just not going to happen. Like if you're dominating people, you're going to continue to dominate them. So that's negligible. People complaining about that is kind of dumb. Trying to think of some other stuff people didn't particularly care about. I think the ammo count on the Gnasher is kind of in question. I think there's only 8 that you start off with, but ammo boxes were littered all around
They're
the
everywhere.
maps that we played, so that wasn't really an issue. On top of that, Like if you ran into someone with a Nasher loadout, you killed him, you ran over him, like you didn't have to waste time picking up ammo. So like 8 doesn't really matter. I have to see that more in play. If there's like 16 people rolling with, or that's way too many. What is it? 10 people, 10 people rolling with a Nasher every match, then maybe the ammo crates might be an issue. But I don't think that's going to be something that crops up.
Yep.
So I mean that's pretty much all I can kind of really think about in terms of being pros and cons. There's stuff like Locust. I don't think anybody in the competitive scene gives a shit about whether or not we have Locust.
I mean, can I just say something?
Matter.
Yeah,
Read the forums.
let's be real. Whenever we came to competitive matches, what did you always want to be? Cog. So who cares?
So, I mean, nobody really cares about that. You have people that kind of complained about Cantus and then the skinnies, like the female characters. So that could still be something. But everybody in the competitive scene wanted, for the most part, like if everyone was the same, I think the competitive community would be happy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. I think they would they really like that. But I don't really think that's a negative. So it's hard to say.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys have, but those are kind of things that kind of stick out to me right now.
I'll just go in a circle.
I didn't touch on Overrun.
Yeah,
I guess we can kind of save that.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little later. Fatal.
Yeah. In regards to all the positives and negatives, Arctic, you named most of them. For me, just for searching ranked, less playlists. Maybe they'll be having bigger crowds. When I go in ranked, I won't have such a hard time finding a match at late at night or anything. So I think the less game types is going to really help out. We have execution added now, so I think that's going to have a really big impact too. So in regards of that and the matchmaking experience, that's what I'm hoping we see some improvements on.
Okay. Chubbs?
For the most part, everyone kind of really covered everything I wanted to talk about. But, I mean, I think something like everyone really wants to know when it comes to Judgment is it really going to be playable as of playing, like, myself? I really have hope for Judgment. I'm not saying that because I want it to be there. I'm saying it because, honestly, I feel like it's going to be different for everyone. As, Gail said, the loadouts, you now spawn with nades, like the spotting nade and the ink and all that. I mean, it's going to be a lot different, but I feel like now it appeals to, like, mostly everyone for the most part.
Mm. Barbosa?
I agree with these guys. The gameplay, I believe, is a lot faster. If anything, it's less campier. The fact that there's a grenade in everybody's loadout means you can do something about someone that doesn't move. Whether it's like an aggressive nade or a defensive nade, you can always do something to move that person. The ammo boxes at every choke point add more map control, which is a big factor in the maps. So you can always kind of keep getting ammo and running around and doing stuff. And then Fatal brought up a good point. We have less game modes. That's something we've always been complaining about. There's like a dozen in Gears 3, and you look at a successful game like League of Legends, which only has like 4, maybe 5, and the 5th one is like a joke kind of game mode. So now everybody's going to be stashed and practicing and playing a lot of the same modes. I think it's a plus overall.
Yeah, I mean, what's usually said, I mean, at least a lot with some games is less is more. I know people are going to be worried, like you said, Arctic, with the maps, but then again, if they really spent a lot of time on those few maps and actually made sure they work instead of just pumping out a ton of maps just for more content, then I'm much happier with that. Same thing with the game types.
One of the things that they were talking about was like they had to make maps work with Horde. So that, they had the big, huge, bulky characters, and like that would mess up some of the maps on like Gears 2, Gears 3. So the fact that they're separate now with Overrun, maybe they will be better.
I mean, like with game types, I mean, I really prefer people playing less and really focusing on those few instead of all these other random game types that are in. It's like, well, we don't even touch them. Why are they even there? That's what happened with all the past Gears. Yeah. And I really think that's going to help matchmaking in general. And of course, I'm hoping there is a better matchmaking system in a whole with Judgment. But, we'll see. We'll see. I know you're shaking your head, but hopefully, who knows?
Yeah, I don't have hopes about the matchmaking. I'm sure we'll talk about the matchmaking in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Probably.
We'll probably have quite a few complaints by then.
Yeah.
I'm sure. At least.
Next, you want to go on to competitive, how we think it'll go so far? You want to do that?
I'm gonna let Fatal. I want Fatal to start off because
Oh,
Go
glad.
ahead, Fatal.
I think I'm the negative Nancy of the group with competitive stuff. So
I mean, in regards of competitive, I mean, I have a big smile on my face. They gave me my execution baby back, so I'm happy as hell.
Okay.
So we got execution. We can use that. We can use domination. I mean, there could potentially be free FFA tournaments now, so we don't know how that's going to roll. But on the side, we can have that. That's going to be really nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes from that. In regards of maps, we got, if Overrun somehow works, I don't know the issues with Spectator mode. I don't know if any of us do. But in regards to what happens with that, if we get that extra slot, who knows? Maybe that's even a possibility. So
Dude, if that extra slot came out for Overrun, I'm set, man.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I know none of us know if it's going to happen.
I'm just saying, if it did, I think there'd be a lot of happy people.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool. And just in regards of spectating it and everything else, it would be interesting. So, I mean, you got Overrun, who knows? So we'll put a question mark above that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got Domination, which is definitely a possibility without a doubt. There's no, it basically could possibly be, we don't know, maybe an improved version of King of the Hill. So that's going to be interesting. Execution, of course, that, we can incorporate that into some of the maps. So, we're a lot better off now than we were before when we only had Domination and then just praying Overrun would work. So
Yeah.
it's definitely an improvement. So shout out to Epic for that. That's great. And if we're talking competitive, exactly what Arctic mentioned earlier, no more active reload buff, no more retardedly powerful grenades, and no more stopping power. I mean, that alone is just awesome. So the game's definitely going to be, in my eyes, hopefully a big improvement in regards of competitive, but we just got to hope that these game modes work and the maps work. But we don't know that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But at least we're better off now than we were before. So I'm actually surprisingly pretty positive.
Okay. Anything you guys like to say? Barbosa, Arctic, any of you guys?
I want everybody else to go because like I said, I'm just not.
Arctic's the negative Nancy. I'm going to be optimistic. Let me be optimistic for just like a minute here, okay? When they announced execution, I was like, yes, because that was a surprise to me. I didn't know anything. It was like, yes, right? We have 2 modes that we could spectate 4v4 on. You can't do 5v5s because then you can't spectate. So I'm like, okay, domination I think will work with smaller maps because you only have 4 guys covering 3 points. It could get a little messy if it's a big map because then you got to go for a high. It'll feel like Battlefield almost, 4 guys on the map. So I'm thinking if we find small maps for domination, we'll be good with domination, whether it's 1 or 2. And then all we got to do is pick 1 or 2 maps for execution as well. And whatever plays out the best, I think we'll be fine. And with that knowledge, I was able to start planning something. So I'm really optimistic towards it. The execution, what I'm a little skeptical about, is if execution is going to come with the 2 weapons that you guys want, or if you're going to have to come with a loadout.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it did come with a loadout, and I know everybody likes to eliminate randomness in competitive, we might actually have to sit like gentlemen in the lobby when we do execution and do like a weapon draft. Like, okay, player 1 is going to take these 2 weapons, player 1 on the other team is going to take these 2 weapons. That at least gets rid of the random, I don't know what they're bringing into the execution map because you can only bring 1 weapon. So
what are we talking about? We're talking about having 4 different types of players, basically, and pre-outs, and then they select.
No, just a draft. Just you're just telling the other team what weapon you're bringing. I think that'll work because then at least there's no surprises. You know what you're dealing with. So if someone's bringing a Marksa, you want someone to bring a Marksa to combat him, then you can go down the list and make sure everybody's kind of taken care of and all the counters are in place.
The issue is that doesn't really. If they keep the same system when the map loads in, you could change your loadout on the loading screen. Like you could do that on Gears 3. You could just hit A and then boop 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 boop.
That's why I said gentlemen.
Yeah, that really doesn't matter because
gentlemen.
I wouldn't be the gentleman if I was doing that. No, seriously, I would be like, okay, he thinks I'm going to choose a Marksa, and then I'd have all my team, and this would probably be high level play people would do it online all the time. It's like they think you're going to choose this, and then when you get in the game, everyone switches it around. So I don't know. I don't really think that works if they kept the same system. Now, if they didn't, yeah, I love that idea.
We'll see. We don't know what's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm optimistic. I'll let somebody else go.
I guess I'm kind of in the middle. I mean, everybody knows I've just been super negative about Gears because just how it ended with Gears 3, I wasn't happy with it. But I mean, with Judgment, they got my hopes up when they got rid of stopping power. They fixed the active reload buff. As far as I knew, they fixed the hammer burst. I mean, it looked better. It looked great. Just from playing it a little bit at, I believe it was E3 last year, when I got to get my hands on it. But, I mean, of course, I'm slightly, not as happy with it, I guess, because, the low game types and all that, but it's looking good so far. I mean, what I'm mainly happy about is, I don't know, I guess the things they got rid of, yeah. I mean, I'm just worried that there won't be enough, and the matchmaking is going to kind of kill the drive for the competitive side. Because that's what I know what happened to a lot of people. They love Gears, they competed in Gears, but they stopped competing because they got bored of playing it. Because, I mean, when you're not scrimming and stuff, you want to hop in and do matchmaking. And when it's just not there, it kind of kills it for you.
Yeah, we need a lot. Really, I don't know if we're going to get to the top, but we got to hope that we got some improvements in that department.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. Really hopefully.
I honestly think the matchmaking, even if it's not the greatest, you're looking at a game, like, honestly, the life cycle is till the next generation of consoles, because who is going to still fire up their Xbox once we have new consoles and new technology out there? So we just need to last till November. And with the game types that are in right now, and if they add, like, 2, maybe, we don't know what's happening, but if they add, like, something, then people come back and play the new game type, and as long as it lasts till November, I think we'll be happy.
That's
true. Forgot about that.
That's the main reason I'm so negative about the competitive scene is because, for me personally, I think Gears Judgment is going to be a pretty good game in terms of gameplay. So I have no problems with the game itself. I have no problems with the competitive community. The issue is we're at the end of a life cycle for the console, and whether or not people want to admit it, that automatically puts Gears Judgment on a short life cycle. It just does by the nature of, okay, November comes around, holiday season comes around, I'm probably going to drop $1,000 on PlayStation and Xbox, the new ones. That's just flat out. Some people are probably going to do the same. They're either going to get an Xbox or they're going to get a PS4. So it's what games are coming with that? What am I going to be playing? What am I going to sink time into this? Is Gears Judgment going to get ported onto the new Xbox? If that's the case, then hey, we can continue playing on.
Hopefully.
If it's not the case, that means, well, shit. I just wasted 6 months of, grinding on this game just to have a new console come out and everyone jump ship, and now they're all on the new console. So that's why I am so negative, at least, and not optimistic about the outlook of Gears of War competitively. I mean, we could keep it going for a little bit afterwards, but at some point, I mean, the population is just going to dwindle. That's just going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's well, at what point do we say, okay, let's just all hop over into the new consoles and play whatever else is hot?
It's true. I mean, I'm really glad you guys brought that up because I completely forgot. I mean, once that new console drops, you're both right. I mean, what's the motivation to hop on the Judgment unless it is ported into the new one, which I hope it is, because that'll really help out. Because I mean,
super high definition remix.
Gears of War 1 remake.
Oh, we dream for that. I think we really do.
DLC.
I think we all do.
I think we all dream for a remake, just new graphics and fix the wall bouncing, and we're all happy.
I think everyone would be happy.
Yep.
Won't happen though.
Yeah. I mean,
a little bit on the competitive side for Overrun, and Barbosa is kind of hype about it. So am I.
Mm-hmm.
I think people that have played League or Dota or hell, even Smite at this point in time, knowing how big those are, if you go into Overrun and you say, well, shit, I think this could be really big. And you look at how they've worked that, you could honestly get into Overrun as a competitive game type because it's legit. Like I'm probably gonna sink a lot of time into Overrun, and I thought it was gonna be a gimmick, like a joke, before I went to go play at the playtest. So I think it'll surprise a lot of people that actually try it out.
I had the same feelings when I went to E3 and they were talking about Overrun and all that, and before I hopped on, even though like then like they specifically told me it was unbalanced for a reason, just for the locust to make it look fun and all that stuff. But I was skeptical about it because I was like, it pretty much just sounds like a slightly better beast mode. But then when I actually got hands on it and played with it for a little bit and saw how in depth they were going, and talked with Pete and Quinn, he's now at 343 now, but talking about it, they really got me thinking that it could work out as a legitimate game type. But the one problem with it is that it's, as far as I know, it's 5v5 and there's no spectate for it.
Yeah.
So that kind of kills it.
That's the only thing that made me sad. Like, granted, you know what? We could still do, like, back in the day when there was no spectator mode for anything practically, people still played games. They played competitively. They registered, who won, who lost, right? We might have to do that. Like, if we're doing that, it's like, okay, they scrimmed or they won their overrun match, and we might just have to record it that way. If someone in the game wants to stream it, so be it. But we can't give it that esport production value. But at least we can keep it alive that way because it's so much fun to like ignore it competitively that I think it should be more of like a side thing to do for fun because chances are that's going to be my go-to mode, and then I'll play the other mode with everyone else.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm looking forward to it just because it looked fun. Even if it doesn't work out competitively, it looked like a fun game type to play on the side. And if you think of Gears 3 and 2 back in the day, I mean, there really was never that game type, I guess. I mean, outside of scrimming and playing and all that, it was the same stuff. There was never that one game type that you could play over and over and was actually fun. I mean, when I play Gears 3, I try to play King of the Hill and all that. I get burnt out after a few matches.
Yeah, you get stressed.
Yeah, because you run into that one squad of Hammerbursts and Retros, and you're just like, kill me. Like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yo, Kitty, like, you've been playing Smite.
Yes.
You, dude. I'm telling you, dude, if Gears of War, after you play Overrun, if you hype for Smite,
I love Smite.
Like it's like I'm not a MOBA guy. Like I hate League. I don't
Me
like
too.
Dota.
Me too.
And so I played Smite. I'm like, man, this is I can get into this.
I was playing Skyless the other night.
I'm telling you, Overrun gives you that same sense. So I think a lot of people like it.
Yeah, I liked it when they explained it to me. It sounded like an awesome idea.
You just have to give it a chance. That's the only thing.
That's the problem. If you think of this Gears community, at least the competitive side, it's like pulling teeth. They do not want to try anything. I just want execution, War Machine, go away. I ain't trying this. King of the Hill, no, I ain't doing it. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be real with you guys. Let me slide in here, dude. I can't play competitive with you guys. There's no way with my right thumb on the analog stick. I cannot shoot on a console. I'm a PC guy, right? But in Overrun, I could have completely different responsibilities. And KL was there when I was a medic on the other team, and I came out with the most points because I kept everyone up. I kept everyone doing their job. I was like the quarterback in the back of the map, telling everybody where the stuff was coming from. And we owned that match. But there was actually a role for me there without having to aim so much and keep throwing stim grenades down on guys that were going down. It'll get like a really wide audience involved in that game type, and it's just a shame it doesn't come out the gate with a spectator mode.
Yeah, it really is. But I mean, hopefully, they've done it. Like with Gears 3, there was no spectate mode at all, and they put it in because they saw that it would really help out the game. I mean, even though the game did die eventually anyway. But they showed they were willing to do it if it was worth it. So, I mean, if Overrun actually works out competitively, like if we actually get to do a few matches with high-end teams that want to do it, please do it. Please, you guys, let us record, or like somebody record it, like go in, play it. Let us see how it is, and if it works out, we can make a push maybe to get a spectator thrown in.
Let me add one more thing to that too, because with Overrun, what I love about Overrun and what MOBAs do very well is getting the community involved. Where when you have League of Legends and you got like 100+ champions and you got Smite and stuff, you can specialize yourself, right? So what I can already foresee is like somebody is going to be a really awesome medic like myself, right? And I'll be able to throw on YouTube, hey, dude, this is what I do when I throw stim grenades out. This is like the wall I'll bounce it off of if someone's passed out around the corner. Like I can show people and I can make content on how to be a better medic in like medic strategies. And then you can have like your soldier player, hey guys, this is a great wall to shoot the bushka off when people are coming around. Like it's just gonna be there's so much depth in that game type to provide content and keep people going and learning new things for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, really excited about, but like we had already said before, what if when the new console drops, just kills it? We'll see.
That will suck.
Yep.
Nothing else to say other than that would suck.
So, did everybody touch in on this? Chubbs, do you have anything to say?
The chat has me cracking up.
Yeah, they're all debating Smite versus League now. Like, I don't know, they're going nuts.
Oh man. Really, everyone kind of covered everything. Like I said, like I wanted to say. But
Is your mic rubbing on your face?
No, it's not. What does it look like it is?
Yeah, it sounds like it's rubbing on your face.
Sandpaper.
I don't know.
A little bit of this.
I don't know. It's probably my hair. Like,
Yo, you need to get on Fatal's level and get on that Yeti mic.
Yeah, I need to get
hey,
one.
yeah, I'll probably end up buying a better mic and start streaming a lot more. But anyway, my feelings on Overrun from I've played it. I mean, there could be a chance that it could be competitive. I really think so. I mean, it's something, like I said before, like Gears of War Judgment's going to be a lot different. And as Kenny had said, with the Gears community, it's like pulling teeth. But, I'm open for anything at this point. I've been playing Gears since the very beginning. I just love playing this game. I mean, I put so much time into it. And, I'm down to try anything at this point. I want to see Gauge, just be that game.
I would say in that same vein, like we've tried everything with Gears of War, so
Yep.
why not? I mean, why not at this point?
Sorry.
I think that's no. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, all you guys looking at Chubbs, and this is why I love Chubbs. He is a competitive player. He's been around for a long, long time. And he's saying right now he's willing to try anything because he just loves Gears and wants it to succeed and at least get some spotlight in it. Whether how long Judgment lasts or not, whether it actually goes somewhere, fizzles out, who knows. You guys should all be like that right now because Judgment is going to be one of those games where if you do not make a push competitively and try to do something like we try to do with more, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with, Gears of War as a whole. Like, I have no idea. You guys got to try and make some sort of push with Judgment. Everybody, content, all that, like just trying everything out, being willing, which has always been the biggest problem with you guys. You've always been so unwilling to test stuff. You got to test it all. You have to. We got to see how it works.
Yep.
I'm with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with it. I mean, I'm with it. We gotta see where it goes. I'm down to see it.
Yep. Now, I don't know how much you guys want to touch base on this, but it's something I told you guys before the show. I was really curious on your thoughts with all the people leaving Epic that did, and how you think it will affect Gears as a whole. Do you want to touch base on that at all?
Yeah, sure, we can talk about it.
Okay.
I'll go quick. I'll give you the environment and probably why that's happening. It's not just Epic. We look at Epic and we see, oh, dude, Rod left, and then we see Quinn left, and then we see Cliffy left first. Like, we're just seeing it, right? But what's actually happening is that we're having this console technology generation flip, and people with like old skills and old development, and I'm not saying old, but it's like, the whole industry is flipping over. Right now, there's new tech, so you have to adapt. And if you're not going to adapt, you either go find something else to do, or really hammer out what you're going to do, or maybe you want to work with different people on new technology. So this is, if you just keep reading the news, I think this is happening throughout the whole industry. It's not just Epic.
Mm-hmm.
So just to consider that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I know it's happening in a lot of places, but I mean, What was really curious for me is how it will affect Gears being, Epic being supportive towards. I mean, if there is a big competitive side in Judgment, whether how it all works out, where will they be? If people think they'll be more supportive towards it, if they're the people now running things over there, if they're really looking into esports and Gears and seeing if it has a chance and all that. What you guys think on that?
I don't. Does anybody else want to go before I step in? Because I could take a little bit longer than.
Let's go, Chubbs. Come on, Chubbs.
Yeah, Chubbs.
Chubbs, what
Come on, Chubbs.
do you think, Chubbs?
I mean, for the most part, I didn't really keep up with a lot of people that left. I mean, the only person I really, personally, I didn't like Quinn. I don't know about you guys. I kind of thought he was. I'm not gonna say it, but
Jeez.
yeah.
Oof.
Hey, you
For
don't
the
have to
most
hold
part-
anything back on this show.
Don't want to hold anything back, and I want to. Oh man. Well, basically,
Damn.
I thought he was a douche when it came to everything. The last time,
Okay.
when he was on the last active reload, for instance, I remember Blaze. It was Blaze that was on with him, and Blaze was going into him pretty hard, and he kind of just sat there with that smile on his face, like, I don't give a fuck what you guys want, like, I don't care about you guys. And I mean, I feel now with those people gone, I feel like there's gonna be more dev support than we had before, for the most part.
Really?
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. But I really do. Whatever. I didn't like Quinn. That's it.
Okay. Chubbs didn't like Quinn. That's all he's got to say. Fatal.
For me, I don't know. Better dev support, worse dev support. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse? I mean, we got execution back. That's a plus. I mean, we got something added in before the game came out, which is a plus. We got spectator mode after what? Correct me if I'm wrong. 3 months after it came out last time, I think. So I mean, it took a little while to get some help last time. We're getting some help before the game comes out this time. Are they going to edit stuff when we ask them to? Who knows? I mean, it's up to them. But if the new people, well, not the new people, but the existing people that we know at Epic, Rackzilla, everyone else, iFlack, everyone, PNub, all of them, if they're all still doing their thing, trying to give us the best that they can do, I mean, hopefully that we get something else other than just what we get when the game drops. And hopefully it's a positive impact and they ask the right people for influence. I mean, that's pretty much my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to do it or are they not? I don't know. I hope they do. I'd like to see it.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to put up a defense here for Quinn.
I was going to, but you can. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put up a quick defense, all right? When I was there playtesting, first of all, with Gears 3, right? People are arguing after the game came out, right? That's your game. First of all, that's an old business model it's an old business model now to buy a game up front for $60.
Yep.
That's going out the window, okay? So, in essentially, you're complaining about something you bought, which works perfectly well and has a whole bunch of things in it, like a single-player campaign and other co-op modes. Now you're complaining about this, and you're evil, and you won't fix this, and what's wrong with you, and blah, blah, blah. You bought the game. Their job is done. The game was good enough, and you bought it, right? So, in a sense, he was already on the new, bigger, and better things. Quinn was like... The next thing was Judgment, and honestly, when I was there playtesting, I was the only guy really first picking up the Hammerburst MK. I was like, I like this gun, but it kind of just needs a little bit more to it. Can we get this to work? And dude, sure enough, they call it turning the knobs when they add recoil and take it away, and add damage and take it away. Mm-hmm. So overnight, they changed the build, they turned the knobs, and I was able to play with that Hammerburst the next day, and I enjoyed it. So, he listened, he cares, they read a lot more than you guys think. They know a lot more than you guys think they do. And I'm just saying, it's a concern. It's probably one of the reasons why he left. He felt maybe a little restricted at Epic and wanted to really, really dig into some good multiplayer. So that's my defense for Quinn. I think he's a decent guy, and he knows what he wants to do, and he wants the game to feel a certain way, and he went at it.
I will say one thing that always drove me nuts about Quinn. He hated Gears of War 1 and said it sucked. And
yeah. I can't agree with him on that. And
I always shook my head at him. I had to give him this evil eye because I mean,
Well,
when
let's keep it in perspective. He said Gears of War 2 was terrible.
he did,
And then he said Gears of War 1 sucked. But
he did.
Gears of War 2 was like way back on his it was fucking terrible. That game was fucking awful.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he did say he saved himself a little, but like, what I was more curious about is like, you got people like Cliffy B left, Rod left, and I know Cliffy was actually really, at least from the looks of it, with all the Twitter talk and all that, going back and forth with Sundance a lot about, Gears of War and esports and all that, and I know they at least talked. I know Sundance and KC did go down to Epic last year before, or no, a little after Gears dropped, and I think that's when they talked to them about spectate mode and how important it was and all that.
Yeah.
So what I'm really curious now is that, Cliffy and all them are gone, whether Cliffy actually cared about esports and all that or not, whether he was just blowing smoke. Will people actually want to do that? Are the other people actually interested? Do we know? No. But, I mean, personally, I feel like they might try something, some more support at least, because they were leaning that way last year with Gears 3. The longer it went on, the more supportive they seemed to be. We all saw it Hype 2. Pete came down, brought a ton of stuff from Epic, helped
awesome.
out a bunch with the whole setup. I mean, Epic was tweeting out the stream. They were giving us love, but what the game really needs is that full dev support where they're actually involved with the tournaments rather than just, some tweets and some mentions here and there. That's if they wanted to actually go that way.
Right.
Yep.
So, I guess I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Am I good to go?
Yeah, you go.
All right, so first on the topic of everyone leaving. All right, so for those of you that don't know, I work in the gaming industry now. I did previously, but I was like a QA guy. So I know the development process, and after talking with people in the industry so long, 5 years, 5, is pretty, once you get past 5 years, you're pretty seasoned in the video game development scene, right? So Cliffy was there for 20 years, right? 20 years. And when I say 5 years, usually a studio pops up and is gone. A complete studio, a whole studio is gone in 5 years.
Yeah.
That is the lifespan of one studio on average in the gaming industry. A lot of people don't know this stuff. So the fact that Cliffy was there for 20 years and people to be like, oh shit, Cliffy left. Dude, he was there for 20 years. He was there since he was 15 fucking years old. 15.
Yeah, that was most of his life.
People were like, "Oh my God, Cliffy left." Let the dude do something else. That was how I felt about it. And his reasoning was he was tired of it. He wanted to do some other stuff. So I mean, that's one thing. All right. So again, keeping in mind 5 years, I think Rod Fergusson was on in maybe 2000. I don't know if he was on when Gears 1 first dropped. But I remember he was hired on a little bit maybe later, I think, in that production cycle. And he ended up leaving, in June, I think, of 2012 or something like that, May or June of 2012. And then he went on he's now the VP of the studio, I think, that's making BioShock Infinite. I can't remember the name of it. So, for him, that's probably an industry step up. He's in a better role because of the work that he did on Gears of War. So I don't really think he was ever okay, I'm so vested in Gears of War, this is what I want to do. I'm an Epic fan for life. I think he was with Microsoft and then got hired on during Gears of War.
Yep.
And then he saw that through the trilogy and he was like, I don't want to do any more Gears of War. I got bigger plans for gaming industry. So he decided to move on. All right. Lee Perry, he left. And he left kind of a nasty tweet when he went out, but he said something about feedback at Epic isn't community driven. I'll say that it's not really community driven. So he felt like a lot of the feedback was being ignored from the community, and he was he didn't like the process, and he bounced. All right, so that kind of raised flags for me, whether or not he was talking about Gears of War 3 or 2 or whatever, or he was talking about Judgment. He left because he felt like feedback wasn't being listened to. So that was a pretty significant person to leave and say, well, okay, why did this guy leave? So I think that probably is the biggest red flag on what's going on at Epic is Lee Perry and his tweet or whatever. If someone in the chat can post it up, that would be awesome to see exactly what he said. But that was probably the biggest red flag. Now, Mike Capps.
Quotes here right now. Sorry to cut you off. It's I advocated for many things from the forum. Opinions largely ignored. Notice where I don't work anymore.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So that was like, ooh, really, Lee? You gonna leave like that? Okay. Then you got Mike Capps, who was the president, I believe.
Yep.
Okay, so he's stepped down from the president, and then he's still on the board. So is that really leaving?
I don't think so, really. I mean,
It's not
you're still
really leaving
involved.
to me. So he's still involved. So of that, the only one that really raises a red flag to me is Lee Perry. And then here's where I'm going to go on with Quinn. Now, I don't know why so many people hate on Quinn, because before Quinn got there, you posted on the forums, you got your shit closed from the competitive community.
Yep, it's
You
true.
posted on the forums, you got shit closed.
It's true.
I remember I made a nice long post, and when Quinn got there a little bit before Gears of War 3 release, it was like around the development time. So I'm thinking in like 2010 sometime I posted in there. He responded to me, and he was like the first dev I've ever seen respond to the competitive community and take us seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So for all the shit that people give him, I am like so blown away that people are like, before Quinn, like they were closing threads. They were shutting you the fuck down. That was Flack doing that. She would close them. I think Sherry would close them. Jim would close them. Lee Perry would close them. What was the guy that did networking? The internet guy.
I do not know.
Oh my God, I can't think of his name, but he was notorious. Joe Graff. Thank you. Joe Graff would go off and then close a thread. So before Quinn, like, are people not remembering this? Before Quinn, there was no talk with the competitive community. There was zero. You had Cliffy and Sundance making like, I love you, fake ass marketing.
Yeah, blowing smoke. Just blowing smoke.
Up our asses, up their asses. Like, there was no discussion about shit. So, again, let me reiterate this. Like, before Quinn, there was nothing. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Quinn comes in. He's asking us, okay, what do you want to change? He's in the Facebook page with the competitive pros and the guys, all the Gears of War pros. Like, he's in there talking with us, asking us, hey, how do you feel about this weapon? How do you guys feel about the maps? He's sending emails to people. How can we change this? What do you think about the sawed-off? How can we get spectator mode to work? And then you got Pete, who was the second guy in this duo, Quinn and Pete. Pete is the programmer side. Quinn is the design side. So Quinn takes all of the ideas that we give him. He presents them to a bunch of other design guys, because this is how game development works. All the designers get in on a meeting. They have talks about shit. They disagree with each other. Something gets pushed out. Then they come up with decisions, and then that gets taken up to programmers, and tasks are made from that. And you got Pete from a programmer standpoint saying, fuck, I can really get into this competitive stuff. Quinn and Peter and Twitch chats and talking with people like, man, that's fucking good play. Infinity are some badasses. NBN just made an awesome play right there. How can we get spectator to work? Pete's like, why are you guys killing each other, man? That's fucking stupid. Let me hurry up and put in a spectator mode. Like, this wasn't existing. This did not exist. This dynamic, this conversation didn't exist before those two came along. So I am, again, blown away by how people have treated Quinn, one, to see him move on to Halo. So we've lost someone that was championing for us. We've lost him to Halo. And all the shit that you guys give him is just like, what? What? Regardless of his attitude, because the dude played football, all right? He was a football coach. So, I mean, he's smug. He has his little I'm high and mighty type attitude, but that's Quinn. Like,
he was a massive troll. Massive troll.
Like, he trolls too. But
him
like,
and Pete. Him
dude has
man.
some swag. So he has some swag about him. How you gonna hate him for having some swag? Like, you guys that's fucking bullshit to me.
That's what
Get the fuck out of here.
People don't know better. That's what they do. They really didn't know how much he wanted to help. That's why I wanted to talk about this, because I mean, with Cliffy and all them gone, I already had enough questions. But when Quinn left for 343, I was just like, what? Like, I was really looking forward to, because they were gone, and I thought maybe now Quinn and Pete had more say, because they really wanted to help the competitive side. And then when Quinn left for 343, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I could knock Quinn for is his attitude is a little. It could be douchey. He could be
If
douchey.
you don't know him,
That's his swag, though.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I know him personally. That's how he carries himself. Like,
Yep.
but who we gonna talk to now? That's the thing that I want to know. Who's other than Pete?
Other than Pete,
Like,
yeah.
I saw Skyless post in like Jim Brown. Like Jim is a cool dude, but he was never ever. I've never seen that dude in any competitive live stream chat. I've never seen him talking with people. Like, yeah, competitive scene in rocks. I mean, I've seen him post on the forums every once in a while, but what? I mean, we got Flack and Rackzilla. Rack and then Flack. Between those two, those are the only other people that I've seen, and they're both community that are like in stuff, and they'll retweet stuff, and they're like, okay, how can we help promote this? I don't see too many devs doing that.
Yep. So, go ahead.
Just to give you guys a gauge on the competitive industry, I work at IPL and I hear things, right? And I hear what other leagues are doing. I hear strategies. I hear business. I hear stuff. Now, I just want to tell you guys that the industry is, now that we're having this new technology, you notice how PlayStation 4, it threw so many new social ideas into their hardware. They realize that it's really important to engage communities now, and there's also like psychological research that when you play a game to get good at the game, and then it gets boring because there's nothing else to do. Now, if you engage your community competitively now there's something to really reach for once you've mastered the game. And if there's microtransactions involved, which is the new business model, then that means the more you enjoy the game, the more you have to look forward in the game, the more the game engages you, the more you're going to keep playing the game, and the more you're probably going to spend on it. Everyone sees this. They do. Now, I'm going to point the finger at Riot Games here for doing something awesome and really shitty at the same time. And I hope this doesn't turn into like a whole trend in the industry. But you have your leagues. It's called MLG and IPL and any other league, a middleman. Okay? What we do is we take the community that wants to compete and we go, dude, let's compete in this game here, right? Well, if you look at Riot Games, what happened was Season 1, League of Legends didn't have Spectator. So we were people just liked the game and they played it. Season 2 had Spectator. Guess what happened? The leagues picked up League of Legends for Season 2. Then it did so well that Riot was like, well, shit, they're making a lot of money off of our game. I think we should kind of bring that back and own what we're doing. And then the player salaries came out, and with the player salaries in Riot Games, they kind of owned what you do now. So if you have a salary from Riot Games, no, you can't compete in that. Oh, no, you can compete in this one. Oh, you can't compete in that. So it's really scary where the industry is going, but that community engagement is like a #1 factor now. So, and I see Epic already gearing up to be heavily involved with their community.
I don't think it'll be the same though. Only because they haven't transitioned over to, and this is not a knock on console, but like the architecture for console is, at least right now, it's not as flexible as PC. So all that integration and making microtransactions like that, it's really difficult to do right now on 360 or PlayStation 3 right now. So that's like, eh.
It really is. I mean, that's why PC's picking up so much. I mean, if you look at Riot again, just to touch on a little more, like how good they've done with boosting their competitive side. I mean, you hop on League, and any big tournament, same thing with Blizzard and StarCraft. You hop on there on the front page. There's the big thing going on right now. Boom, click it, you're watching. I mean, you can't really do that on console. What I would like to see, though, at least from Epic's side, is, Gears 3, they had that event calendar. If there's anything like that in Judgment, anything, integrate the big tournaments, support it, show love for it, let people know what's going on.
I actually made a post on the forums, on the Gears of War 3, or Gears of War Judgment forums, about what Epic should do with the community stuff. I may have to, if I can find it really quick, I'll post it in the chat. But basically, I said, hey, listen, and I didn't name any other studios because I think they'll close your threads or if you compare other games and stuff. So I said, hey, other people were doing it better. Obviously, I was talking about Riot. I think PlanetSide, Sony Online Entertainment, whatever.
Yep.
But they're doing it pretty well. And I said, hey, listen, you need to change how you guys are doing your community stuff because as of right now, it's just this static page. You guys have a blog and on your forums, which I feel like is just like archaic, really, in the sense of like, people are on Twitter, people are on Facebook, people are on Twitch, and they utilize those very well. But it's like when you go to community page, you see who are the top streamers, you see all of these fantastic guides. You see just a whole lot of information on what the community is actually doing on one static page, and it's not getting pushed down by all of this forum stuff. And I was like, hey, you guys really need to think about revamping the website for the community stuff. And Rack's response was kind of receptive, but he ended up tweeting me saying he wanted to, talk about it some more in person. But I feel like you said, Kenny, they're moving in the right direction. And we had the announcement of the Gears Reaper as being something to highlight the community. I think that, again, I think part of it is that they don't have the tech and the Xbox 360 to do what they want to do with the game. And I think it's just a matter of time before we see some more community integration. But I would love to see, Active Reload on their community channel. Obviously, we're not PG, so I cuss up a storm.
Put a little warning up, hey. Shit might get real on this show. Might not want to watch.
Yeah, I mean the game is rated M, but I got like some of the things that that Rack kind of talked about in that thread. They were kind of worried about some of the content filters. Okay, we can't post this guy's stream because he's taking off his shirt, he's flexing his muscles, and he's trying to get naked. I don't know. I mean, they got to worry about stuff like that as well. So I think the community kind of filters out like who should be where in terms of publicizing that page or whatever they have. But I would really like to see them kind of revamp that with going forward, especially with Gears Judgment and all the content I'm sure people have planned out for it. I mean, I would love to see Hype up there. Like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, at least from what you said, though, like, they don't have the tech, but from the looks of it, they want to do it. They just can't do it yet. So that makes me happy because they're looking into do it. At least from the looks of it, they want to do it. They just can't do it yet. So
I agree with you, Cream.
Say there's another Judgment coming up. I mean, Judgment, another Gears. Another Gears coming up, or if they, who knows? Maybe Judgment's ported to the new Xbox, and then they can actually do all these things. I mean, that would just be amazing.
I mean, well, we could definitely think that these new consoles are going to be a lot better than what we currently have. Obviously, the restrictions are going to be a lot less. What those limitations are, the only thing that sucks is we don't know.
I'm looking at the chat. Just look at me cracking up. Go Glove curses and talks about foreskin.
Oh, Brennan, what am I going to do with you? That guy.
Oh my god, I just saw that too.
All right, so everybody touch base on this? Anything more to say? I mean, we got pretty damn detailed on this topic.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
All right, I mean, next, what I did want to cover, want to make sure to cover, there's a Hypefestation this weekend. It's not, a Hype 3. It's not Hype 3.
Thank you. Not Hype 3.
It is, Hype Local Battles, kind of an installment of Hypefestation. There was 24 passes up for sale. I believe you guys got like 20 teams to go.
I believe there's 20, yes.
It's not bad.
And
still more. We might let them in at the front door.
Yeah, I mean, if people want to show up to the door, it's this Saturday and Sunday in Fort Lee, New Jersey at Local Battles. I don't know if you guys want. It's the last show-off tournament for Gears 3. And I'll be there covering it, helping out with Murray, and I know Vicious is going to be there. I don't know if you guys want to talk about it at all, cover it, what you think will happen there.
I'm gonna talk about like a little bit because I haven't kept up with all the teams. All I've really kept up with is Synergy because I follow what's his face, Strangulate.
Yeah.
And I've kind of seen their drama, whatever. And I watched. It was like 2 weekends ago. I watched a tournament that had a couple teams in it. Is LOX still playing?
LOX still plays, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so those are the other guys that I've kind of been watching. But okay, in terms of the Hype 3 thing, I don't know all the teams going. I got to look at the list. My biggest thing, I think, and it's really hard for me to kind of put this in perspective because the East Coast scene for Gears is just better. Just East Coast in general. I mean, they could pull in more players because there's just that whole New Jersey, New York area has just a ton of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really easy to put together a LAN. And I looked at the venue, Local Battles, like, I've seen it before. There's just better places. And like, I'm gonna talk, I'm really gonna try to hit up Barbosa once the Gears Judgment gets rolling around. Like Ebash is expanding like crazy in the Midwest, and for those of you that have been at Ebash, like they have the sickest setup for any land that I've seen on the East Coast, West Coast, down here, down south. Like they have a nasty setup for competitive play, and like there's not enough people like really looking at them just because it's in the bumfuck of nowhere and in Indiana. So it's like I would really like to see like something on the Midwest this time with Hype, or on the West Coast. But I don't want to say that I want to see it go away from the East Coast, because I know everybody's over on that East Coast side. But I would definitely like to see it spread out. Now on the terms of the teams, I'm only going to talk about Synergy because those are the only dudes I've been watching. If they come to play, they'll shit on everybody. That's all I'm going to say.
Going into it, LOX is definitely a big favorite. I mean, they've got a lot of good players on their team. They picked up Praised, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but they got Praised. Who else is on the team? Secret, Franchise, and Krills. I mean, that's a pretty damn strong team going into it. It's going to really come down to the two of them and their roads, If they clash early, then who knows what can happen. You don't know who's going to come out the other side of the bracket. If you guys remember from Hype 1, the Poseidon knock combo, I mean, they're back. So they got, what, top 4? Am I correct? I think Hype 1. So, I mean, they played really well at that event. They did very, very good against Affinity. I mean, they got Excels on their team, and then they have Bobby Rice, who played really good at Hype, too. And there's other teams there, too. That's just a couple little favorites on the top, but you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like Arctic, I don't really know any of the other teams. I haven't been following competitive Gears in a long time. I mean, basically after the last the G-Con event, it pretty much fizzled out, and then I just
You ever
stopped
been watching?
No,
Dude, I randomly pop into streams all the time, dude. I think I was listening to I'm not even. It was one of the tournaments. This is why I can't even remember. I can't remember the name of the tournament. That way, I can say that the commentators that they had were shitty. The scene right now is like not nearly what it needs to be in terms of the people that pick up afterwards. But it was, the teams playing are at least intriguing to me.
was it that Niagara event or?
I don't know. I don't want to.
Oh.
I don't know what it was. I just know that the commentating was not very good at all. I was rather upset. One of the okay, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. One of the commentators, while he was talking, was on mute the entire time. So the one guy is talking all by himself. This guy's on mute, just blah 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 blah, and then he comes back like, "Was I on mute the whole fucking time?"
Oh my god.
And he's like, and like people in the chat weren't like really paying attention to him because the other guy was just talking. He was just talking, like he wasn't even trying to go back and forth with the other guy. He was just talking. it was so bad, but it was funny. It was funny. I enjoyed myself in the stream.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be there. I don't know how much commentating I'm gonna be doing, but I'll be doing my best to help out the whole weekend.
I honestly don't know who's lined up to commentate.
I
let Joey take the reins on this event mainly. I was just helping support with the business with local battles and such.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, guys, if you're there, this is a community event. What I like about these events and why I want to keep running them like this is that everybody that's involved plays. There is no like corporate player or some guy that comes in and just wants to do business. We're all players. So, I mean, have fun with it, guys. It's our last send-off, Understand that it's not really going to... I have plans for a Hype 3. It's not really going to... It's just going to be different because, I mean, I really wanted to be there. I can't be there. But Murray puts on a great show. He's a professional streamer, and you're going to have all these guys in the house. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to miss it, unfortunately. But then I'll see you guys at PAX weekend after.
Oh, yeah. I'll be there. I'll see you there.
Sure, bro.
Yeah.
I'll be having some fun.
Yep. Are you going to be there, Arctic, at PAX? I think your mic's muted.
PAX, yeah. I would not be at PAX because we have too much stuff going on with Loadout.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's
a good thing at least.
Yeah, like the same, almost the day after PAX, we had GDC in San Francisco. So
Mm.
we'll be over on the West Coast. So it's like we did South by Southwest this past weekend, and then like the next 2 weeks we have something lined up, and then we have GDC.
Okay.
Chubbs.
You want to talk about hype? You're
Chubbs.
competing there. Like,
Talk about hype. I mean, for the most part, I mean, I'm just, I'm going with, pickup team, just for fun. It's Gears 3's final send off, and then, Gouge is right there. So, I mean, for the most part, I'll agree with Joe and KL. It's Synergy and LOX for the most part. I mean, the only real big teams going into this that have been playing a lot. I mean, anything can happen though. Everyone knows that. So, I think really it's gonna be everyone's doing this for the fun of it, like to get to see everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe that one last time, because we don't know what's gonna happen with Gouge. As much as we've been sitting here speculating about it.
yeah, I mean, it looks good, but who knows how it'll actually turn out.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget the fact that half of Infinity is going to be there also. You got
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh.
might as well go into this because there's one team I just was going to see, but nobody mentioned them. You got For the Bread, Ribs, Flames. You got Vicious and J-Mercs from MBN. So you got
That's a solid team.
Okay.
four
It is.
pretty damn big players there. They've been hiding under the radar, not talking about it, just scrimming, doing what they have to do. But I mean, I don't know if some of you might know, some of you might know. I'm competing as well, actually, at the event.
DBF.
I got picked up by DBF, so we'll play. We'll see how that goes. But
Drama's awesing to watch.
yeah, it will be,
DBF did really well at Hype too, right?
Too.
Yeah, they
placed
did.
I think they were top 6 or 7.
I think it was 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, DBF was top 6. So basically, it's the same team as Hype 2. But I'm replacing Air temporarily. I don't know what's going on with them for Judgment, or if I'm even competing in it as of right now. But I mean, I'm gonna play with them, so that should be fun. And then in regards of the event, yeah, I mean that For the Bread team is pretty stacked also. So you got 4 teams. I mean, counting, I guess Ambition is what they are. So that's going to be pretty decent competition for those 4, definitely, with some runner-ups all over the place.
So just to make sure, Synergy is bringing their full team, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, because I wasn't sure. Again, the Twitter drama just off the charts with them.
Yeah, basically the
Off the
roster
charts
is-
with them.
I mean, Kenny's on the team, so I mean, I'm sure you knew that. So you got Kenny, Strangulate, Nasty, and Yogurt. So
Okay.
they got the full squad. It's definitely be interesting. They're definitely the favorites, I think, going into the event.
Okay. You guys want to take some time now? It's been roughly an hour. Do you want to answer, unless you have another specific topic to talk about? Unless we can start answering questions from the viewers or Twitter. You guys want to tweet at the Active Reload Twitter?
I do want to say one more thing. Every time Ribs and Flames or any combination of Infinity has gone to a LAN, they've swept it. Like just half of them. And I think that was all the NJ Halos.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Infinity won
So-
every single NJ Halo every single time.
So
I remember.
I'm still going with Synergy. I'm gonna believe because Nasty is nasty. And Kenny can do work when he wants to. So I have to put all my faith. I'm gonna back them 100%. But Flames and Ribs or any combination of Infinity are scary. So for you guys competing, I feel bad for you guys to have to play the dynamic duo.
I mean, well, see how they do at a full event. I mean, without their leader, Terror, keeping them together.
Is Terror even playing?
He's playing League of Legends.
League.
He's all in League.
He's playing League.
Yeah.
A lot of us have fallen to League.
I can't, man. I can't stand the click to move. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I can't say click the move.
That's why I love Smite. And you love Smite. Skyless is all in Smite now. I tell everybody, I know this is off topic, but if you actually like League, but you like third person and Gears and all that, try Smite out. You're going to like it. Guarantee it. All right, now let's answer some questions from the viewers now. You guys want to do that?
Yeah, I
that's
saw some
Go
chat
for it.
Good.
popping up.
All right, guys, tweet your questions at Active Reload TV, and I'll be able to keep an easier log of them, see which ones we want to answer.
I saw one about me competing. I'm gonna answer that one real quick. I saw that actually. In the
Okay,
chat.
Delta Phoenix, I'm going to post in the chat right now. For more details on the Hype event, you just go to hypestation.com. Here it is. Go there. I'm pretty sure all the details are on the site there for this weekend. Let's see.
I suggest carpooling because there's not a lot of parking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, good question from Thrashballer here. He said, do you think the Nasher ammo count is perfect as it is at 8 rounds, or is that just not enough?
In regards to judgment.
Yeah, regards to judgment.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's like, I mean, we were looking at execution and all the other game types. I mean, we're going to have loadouts now, right? So we're going to have one person playing Nasher, one person playing shotgun. I mean, like Arctic said earlier when he was analyzing the pros and cons, I mean, you get ammo crates all over the map. You can get shotgun ammo that way. And even better, if you kill somebody and they have a shotgun out and you beat them in a shotgun battle, you can simply keep running around, not stop to pick up their ammo, and just go and get to where you got to get to and get the ammo quick, effective, and get out. So that's pretty awesome. So in regards to how many bullets you start with, well, then don't miss. Don't miss in the beginning of your first fight. Don't get slammed, and you won't lose your ammo.
All those those fights where the kids bounce all over there just shooting, waiting for the one shot.
Yeah, well, they might as well start practicing a little bit and make sure they hit their shots, because you're only going to have a few to mess with in the beginning. And most of the people you should be fighting should be pretty weak anyways. I mean, aren't you going to have Lancers supporting you? So you have people with primary Lancers trying to put in the damage they can from a distance. So.
Hey, this is gonna make me go on a rant. Why'd you have to bring that up? Damn it! Why'd you have to bring that up?
What? The loadouts?
The loadouts, and saying that, oh, you know what's gonna fuck up matchmaking? People not choosing the right fucking loadouts. Why do you have a sawed off and you need a Lancer out, bitch? That is gonna piss me off so bad.
Oh God.
That is gonna piss me off so bad in this game. God damn it.
Oh my God.
In regards to competitive, it's going to be nice, but if you're searching solo queue, may God bless your soul.
I love when KL does that stuff, man, because you're always so laid back and calm, and then you just have these random moments.
So salty. So salty about it. Great. I can just see it. Like, I play ranked solo a lot by myself. A lot. I'm going to have just some of the worst teammates because of the loadouts. Like, they're going to need a Lancer. I'm going to go for a power weapon. They're not going to support fire. And it's going to be like, why do you have a sawed-off, dude? Why are we both running up in the same spot? You clearly could be support. Oh, that's gonna hurt me.
Yep, it's gonna hurt.
That's gonna piss me off.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm sure. I mean, that's kind of a problem. You think about it. It's going to piss a lot of people off because it's going to turn them off from wanting to play because people don't know what they're doing.
Oh God.
Oh man, that's gonna make me so mad. My mic is gonna be muted while I'm playing all the time.
It's gonna help in privates, but sure as hell isn't gonna help in matchmaking. That's
In TDM and free for all, it's not gonna mean anything. And overrun, it's not gonna mean anything. And domination, people are gonna get mad.
Yo, Fado, I'm so mad at you right now. Why did you make me think about that? I had not thought about that literally for like 2 months since my loadout video. I had not thought about that.
Oh. Sorry, Artie.
Oh man.
God
Sorry,
damn.
bro.
Are there any more questions?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of questions coming. Let's see. Kyle Mason said, "Who do you think will determine the settings for competitive?" I mean, I'm gonna give my input like always. I'm sure Arctic's gonna have things to say. Barbosa, Fatal, like everybody from Gears 3, they're pretty much.
I imagine the pro player forum will be live again for Judgment. You'll see some of those guys adding input. I think some more of the. I personally think some more of the teams need to be added to that chat. Just to talk about things. Obviously, there's the public page, but what you guys don't know is there's a hidden page.
Okay.
The hidden page. I think some more people need to talk about that there.
Oh, the hidden Facebook page for all the Gears pros and all that.
Yeah.
Ooh, top secret.
Discussing in secret how we will control.
Where your fate competitively is determined. Like the fucking Justice League.
Oh man.
I'm gonna to just answer this real quick because there's also people asking about our team for Judgment. So I don't know what our role is going to be in Judgment in terms of my team Amazing. Yeah, I've really switched from playing to producing content. And part of the reason I probably won't be able to compete as much is because I now have a daughter. So last time you saw me on Active Reload, I did not have a daughter. So that really changes up how you have to go about competing and traveling and doing all that stuff. So we'll see. I might be out of the competing scene in terms of going to LANs for a little while, but you guys might see me online.
Okay.
And commentate Hype 3, man.
Yeah, that's what I was telling
We'll
Chrissy.
talk.
Like,
We'll
hey,
talk.
do some Hype 3. I'll be on the mic.
Yeah, I know people have asked me just recently with Judgment coming out, but I'm not competing anymore. I'm done with the whole competitive side. I'm just going to be all pushing out content and doing what I can, helping run events, commentating here, streaming special events. I don't know, just doing whatever I can to help out. I'm done with the whole competitive side.
Yeah, I really feel like, and I talked about this, I think, on Active Reload a little bit in terms of what MLG did wrong. And we'd probably say this for another show, but I feel like a lot of the guys that are playing right now and competing, you very, very much so need to be trying to figure out how you can produce content.
Yes.
Like, you really need to sit down and evaluate how you can start producing content. So, again, I'll probably save this for a whole nother show, but if you guys aren't posting videos to YouTube like of your team playing, or you're not trying to do some type of tips, or you're posting commentaries, or you're not streaming, you are doing it wrong right now.
Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned that earlier. I'll let you go right after me, Barbo. Sorry.
Okay.
People need to be putting out more content. Like I noticed already that from the difference between Gears 3 and Judgment already not being out, I'm seeing way more faces willing to help out and step up and just put anything out that they can. But we need more of the big name players doing it. That's what people like to watch and see stuff from, the actual competitive players. They like to see that from the top teams. Obviously, we don't know who the top teams are now, but when that happens, this needs to happen.
Yeah. Majorly.
Going forward with Hypefest, as you guys know, the reason I started with Hypefest was I'm a media guy, I'm a video guy. I want to put on shows. I want to do all that stuff, right? So I'm going to try and just randomly stream 3 scrims a week. I'm just going to call out, is anybody streaming tonight? And I'm going to commentate. And if Shawnee or somebody's awake in the UK, or if anybody wants to commentate with me, at least 3 nights a week, you're going to get a commentated match. And then we'll be able to kind of educate the people watching and develop metagame and everything. I'll be like, I'm not going to officially record statistics, but I'll be able to keep in mind how the game is evolving as we play more often. Mm-hmm. And I plan on putting out YouTube content, and I want to do like little partnerships with people that want to do content. And I'm also planning on sharing everyone's content. That if I'm going to screen it, I'm going to make sure it's professional enough. There's no like awful profanity and all. You know what makes a bad video and what makes a good video. So
we should change the title of this episode to Active Reload Episode 1. Just put out.
Just put.
No, just put out that content. Just put out. For real.
Too funny.
Go ahead, Barbosa.
And the last thing I want to tell you guys is, it is, because streaming came out, it is really easy. It is really easy to just throw on your camera, put the game on, and be like, yo, ranked, get in here, right? Like, I hate those streams because they just play, they're not educating the viewers. Maybe once in a while they talk, right? But if you're going to do that, make sure that someone else is not actually running a scrim stream, or take turns or something, like, just don't spam the Gears of War Judgment Twitch TV channel with like, yo, ranked, and then just play all night. Like, that doesn't do anything for the community. Put on a show if you're going to stream, and the best thing I can do is do some work on those YouTube videos, because honestly, the YouTube video is harder to do than it is to just throw on a camera and stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So don't think you're doing something amazing for the community because you're streaming 12 hours a day of you just playing Gears.
Unless you're Nick and you take off your shirt.
There you go. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. How else is it going?
Oh, I just gotta say this right now. Nothing I hated more than that. That's nothing. I told him all the time. It's like he kept doing it because I told him I hated it.
Oh man.
Oh, Nick cracks me up. I don't think he's competing this year.
No, he's full on in the
Yeah, he's
Navy
going all
SEAls.
Navy.
Navy
Navy.
SEAls.
I'm gonna miss that dude, man.
Can't believe it.
It was
I'm gonna miss
exciting to
that dude.
watch.
Yep.
Any
Navy
more questions
play.
on Twitter?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of questions. As far as Grand Cathedral, as far as the NJ Halo event going on, that's in a few weeks, and I'm gonna talk about that before the event, not right now. Let's see. What was the thing I was just looking at? Oh, another good question from Restive. How would you respond if Epic revealed a Forge-like feature for a future Gears game from a competitive point of view?
You know what? I think Forge is good for maps, but I honestly feel like one of the reasons Halo is struggling right now is because they have too much.
Mhm.
Like,
I was just
those
I agree
dudes
with you.
cannot agree on shit. Like, they have too much. Like, we're gonna do this map, we're gonna do this map, and it's a pain. Like, if you've been watching that,
Yeah, a
like,
little bit.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want Forge, because I think Forge maps are cool. I just don't want too much. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, less is more, and that's why I'm kind of a little optimistic with Judgment with not having too much on release, because maybe they actually went hard into making sure it all worked instead of just putting out too much. And then it was just you had all these game types and maps that why are they even here? We're never going to touch them.
Yeah, I agree. It's people are getting paid really good salaries to do map design. I really don't think it should go to the community. Maybe we could suggest, but I mean, like for instance, I'm always doing Shoot Mania content at IPL. That lets you make maps in like 10, 15 minutes. Really, well, I'm exaggerating, but it's good and bad because if there's too many maps made, then you can't agree. Like what KL said, you can't agree on what you want to play. So I think let the devs take care of it. That's where
We
I'm
need
on.
to find out fast what we're doing this time around, though. We can't wait 6-7 months before figuring out that, okay, we're going to narrow the game types from 11 to
Yeah.
6.
Yep.
That is a great
That-
point.
that-
Like,
yeah.
settings need to be done in like 2 weeks.
Solid
We
point.
need- We need
2
this
weeks.
time around, we've got to fix all the mistakes we made last time around because we made too many mistakes last time around. We took way too long to make decisions, way too much to try to please everyone. Guess what? When the settings come out, we're not going to please everyone. It's impossible. There's
It is.
no way every single GAL player, whatever status you think you are, it doesn't matter because we're not going to be able to get every single person to agree. We're going to have to come up with something that most of the people agree with and we know is going to work and it's going to be effective and boom, and just go. And we can't wait. And if you don't like it, suck it up. Too bad. I don't care. And I hope the other people don't care because there's
I
nothing we
hope
can
the
do.
Justice League chooses wisely.
Well, I could just tell you, just from running the NJ Halo events and stuff. I mean, I really learned the hard way how hard it is to get people to try anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you really just got to lay down the law, say, play with this, deal with it, or just don't play. Because guess what? There aren't any other options.
Agree.
You're gonna have to deal with it, play. Because if you don't play it, how are you gonna know it works? Like that.
Yeah.
That is the thing. Like if you don't ever test it, how are you gonna know if it's gonna work? You gotta play it
testing
all.
it one time against one team is not testing it.
Yeah, I know. Like people play, that happened all the time
That is
last
not
year.
testing it.
They tested it once. They're like, this map fucking sucks. Oh,
It sucks.
they had this
Oh, God.
angle. It's like, well, did you find a way to counter that spot? No.
The thing
No, you
is,
did not.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh God.
The thing is like I mean look at like when we first started playing. Remember how mad everyone got about the Silverback, Rust Long? It ended up being one of the
King of
best
the
maps
Hill.
we had on the cycle at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And we all hated it. I hated it. I hated everything about it at first. And then after a while, I was like, well, this stuff is better than Aftermath. This is better than all these other maps they're coming out with, and these other maps we want to play, or Academy, and the other ones we try to make work that just couldn't work. We tried, but we couldn't get it to work. But at the end of the day, we need to keep the cycle friendly. I mean, this is the first time I've been scrimming on Gao these last 2 weeks, the few times I've practiced, than I have in a year. I mean, last time I played anything serious was Hype 2. I mean,
Yep.
and that was it. And there was some practicing that went into that, obviously. But in regards of the maps, I mean, scrimming before for 11 maps was awful. It sucked.
Yeah, well,
Took
It
2
sucked.
hours.
It did.
That was a 2-hour. That was. So
Arctic, you remember from back in the day, right? Gears 1, we would run full cycles in like 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And we would just bounce to the next team, bounce to the next team.
Yeah.
I mean, in Gears 3, obviously, aside from doing awful, I think what killed me trying to scrim in that game was it just took so long for one scrim. One scrim was like an hour and a half. Like, it was just, once the scrim was over, you're like, oh my God, like, it's like 2 in the morning. What? When did that happen?
Yeah. That was really good.
But 6 maps, it's not so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff is done in 45 minutes.
That's fine. I mean, you don't need a whole ton of stuff. As long as that core group of maps, game types, combo works perfectly fine, then that's all you need. You don't need this, like, best of 11 possibility. You know what? If they got to repeat a map and game type, fine, because now this team has a chance to redeem themselves when they just lost it.
Yeah.
And as we brought before, I mean, the perfect example last year of forcing settings on people when they didn't want to do it was King of the Hill Rustlung. You know, I forced it that one time at the NJ Halo. Forced it. Everybody flipped out.
Oh my God, it's so sick.
Well, yeah. Well,
I got in the silverback.
Everyone was
and they
just
started
like,
going crazy.
everyone just they made a little picture, got a background, a picture of a silverback, took J Ribs' face and just plopped it on it.
And the best thing, here's the thing. I just
silverback. Oh my!
I just want to discuss this. All right. I was talking with Raw Talent after that event. You know, Immortal and all of them. I'm good friends with all of them. You know, I used to team with them in Gears 2. And they were saying how, you know, that map doesn't work, Silverback's overpowered, you know, blah, blah, blah. I was commentating that whole match. None of their smokes hit the Silverback. He was literally just walking around like, blat, 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 just killing everybody. And then the more people screamed, the Silverback became useless. Like, you couldn't even use it anymore. You hopped in, smoked. You hopped in, smoked. Every time you tried to use it, it got disabled. So, I mean,
and then the
test.
People started later on. Like, you'd see teams like LOX and other teams. I mean, because I was casting quite a bit during the Gal 3 era for the first time. But in regards to, like in shooting everyone, they just got that thing down in seconds. Literally killed it. Like, 3 people, active lancers, boom,
and that's
focus fire, silverback, blow it up, peace. We're done with your
That's
crap.
the point. I mean, stuff could
was
suck
it.
at first, but if you, as long as you play more and test it, you find out that one thing that was overpowered at first, once you figured out an easy counter to it, just because you were doing it wrong, this Silverback, this mechanical monster that just wrecks whole teams and wins maps, is now useless, and it's actually a bad thing for you to go for it.
The other thing I think that's a really big factor, and I hope a lot of players start to implement this, but we as a community make way too many damn excuses on when we lose. And
Everybody does that.
The situation sometimes when you lose isn't the map, or it's not the way the weapons are placed. Maybe it's you. Maybe you need to focus on self-improvement, making yourself better, and focusing on how you and your team are going to handle this situation and complete whatever objective it is you're trying to complete, rather than just crying about it. And I hope people start implementing that, people who play, whoever's trying to take judgment seriously, whoever plans on going to, you know, future events, other tournaments, you know, that are going to be going on. You know, think about more about how you can improve and how your team can improve rather than making excuses all the time. Because we are going to test new stuff. And if Overrun does have a slot, I'm pretty sure it's going to be tested, and we're going to have to play it, and we're going to have to try to take it somewhat seriously, you know, to try to get it to work. If things like domination don't work out, or however the cookie crumbles in regards to what game types we use and which ones we don't. But if we get that slot, you're damn straight we're going to need to test their Overrun. And I'm pretty sure Overrun, all of you will hopefully agree with me on that.
Yep. Let me just say this one general statement to any of you young players out there looking to compete. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. Winning is teaching, losing is learning. Just look at it like that. You're never going to argue. Every time you lose, you're figuring out how you just lost. They're showing it to you right there. Just stop the arguments, work it out. Everything's going to be tested off the bat anyway. Who knows if this is even going to work out in the long run?
Yeah.
You know, we don't even know if we'll use it, but you got to play with it. You got to try it out.
I want to throw out a suggestion and a hope into the community here. Let's try to make this as default as possible. Yep. And, you know, if we have to, you know, Epic is listening and we can make changes, but the more default we play, the easier it is to get that crossover ranked crowd to come pay attention to what the competitive community is doing, because they won't be alienated. So, you know, when the settings do come out, don't play one map and be like, oh my God, we got to change everything about the game. Keep trying it. Try counters, you know?
The only thing I'm going to say to that is that, and then we can end on whatever you guys want to end on, but while we were playtesting, we happened to find a swap that wasn't very good that they had for default, and we made a suggestion to switch it, and it played out much better. So, I mean, we ended up keeping the same weapons, so it wasn't like we just swapped out completely different weapons on the map. We just moved something around, and it ended up playing a hell of a lot better on that map. So, all of the maps might not be perfect, but I do agree we need to keep it as default as possible.
Yeah,
Of course.
that worked out last time. I mean, a lot of maps that was the first time we did that. Also, remember that Gears 1, Gears 2, we customized the weapon sets tremendously. Like how much we changed the maps around. I mean, like Gears 1, obviously. Well, I'm sorry, Gears 2, we switched things around. Gears 1 was pretty much default on everything, if I'm correct.
And don't forget, we had Quinn who listened to us on those swaps on a couple maps, and they made changes.
Yep.
Hey, I'm just saying.
That's why I wanted to touch base on that, because like I said, it's just another thing. Like, hopefully they still listen like they did in Gears 3, or maybe they listen more. You know,
Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Pete will be able to put that in. We'll see. I don't know.
So Quinn's not a full douchebag.
More hashtags.
Oh my god.
Just put out 2013. That's my hashtag.
It's gonna really come down to obviously what the developers do in their support matters, but what really matters is what we do, how we react and what we get done. Like content, from what you guys were saying, definitely a big deal. I definitely agree with that. I'm even gonna start trying to do it myself. And then in regards to making everything else better, you know, we need to conduct ourselves a little differently in the way we conduct ourselves when we're playing, you know, just in general, and then also try to just be more helpful. You know,
I got a very nice message from one of the ex-pros that said something about the way our team has carried ourselves over the past 5 years, and he said that. Oh, first off, he apologized, but he said that he wished he would have done things a little bit differently. So it goes a long way, guys. I'm telling you, it goes a long way just being respectable to people, players, sponsors, all that stuff. Works out.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask. I have one question I do want to answer, just because it kind of touches base on the whole vanilla thing and all that. Restive said, "What do you guys think about competitive playlists in ranked?" Now, personally, I don't want that there, because I want the game. I want what everybody's playing to be what we're playing competitively. I want that to work. Because if you look at League and StarCraft and all that, there's nothing changed. They just hop on, play, and that's what they're competing at the big events. Anybody who plays, they're playing that.
I agree.
And I don't want to have to make separate playlists. We can't be segregating the community. Like, this is the competitive side, they compete here, and this is the casual side, and these are the guys that just want to play this playlist and that play. Like, it's got to all be together, or it's not going to work.
I'm really hoping that just that calendar, man. Honestly, like, I know we're not going to get a better ranked match system. I highly doubt it. But if we get what's up?
Rack said it wasn't in that same thread that I posted. He said that the calendar isn't this. It's not Gears 3, which implied to me that the calendar is gone for Judgment.
Well, that's very sad to hear. Unfortunately, if that's the case. But if that's the case and we don't even have a calendar,
I don't know what we have in place of that. But he said that the calendar. You can check in that thread. I posted it a little while ago. I'll repost it again. But he said that the calendar is not in.
I hope that there's some way that they can implement then to just when big tournaments are going on, because there's plenty of people.
Pop-ups, man. You know,
anything, a pop-up, even a notification, just notification when you sign on the game. You know, like sometimes when like you have a weapon skin that didn't load right, it just pops up.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that popped up and lets me know that in a month I can go to a Hypefest station, or I can go, if I lived in Australia, I can go to an ACL or an ESGN, or I can go to a EGL in Europe, like just so the people in their regions know, what's going on.
Or at least implement their social networking systems way more, and try to get people more aware of the events going on. Like a tweet here or there helps, but there's got to be other ways that they can try to get the word out more if they want to.
This is 2 million
I hope they want
likes on that Facebook page for Gears of War.
Gears of War is it's a very popular game, but the casual community does not really know about the competitive side and what it's doing. They really don't.
Though? Because since the beginning, we've always been segregated. How did we even start anyways? We started because a bunch of us just went to a bunch of MLG events.
Yep.
And then we were just like, oh, well, MLG let all these people know there's this tournament. That's how we started. Like everyone that does compete,
Yep.
What's the only way to increase that is for the developers to show their support. So hopefully, in some way, shape, or form, for the tournaments that do go on, there's better advertising and stronger advertising. That way, we can get shit done.
And
That's
speaking of
really what it
that,
comes
like
down to.
just mentioning MLG, I don't want to have to rely on MLG again, or hope that they're gonna, throw us a life raft, or something like help us out. I want us to be able to do it on our own, not have to rely and just have the support of the developer. I want that in a Gears of War competitive community. I want to have that full-on support where we say if there's something wrong, there's an event going on, we go to Epic or whoever we need to correspond to with Epic, and they help us out. I don't want to have to rely on a league picking up the game.
Yep.
As my voice dies.
I think for the most part, we're really out here. We need to kind of help ourselves around this time around. And Gears, like Joe had said, in Gears 1, we had MLG. Like, MLG ended up picking up the game, and, it was big back then. So, that's really where all the advertising came from. And now there's, MLG said, goodbye Gears of War. And it kind of just died off from there because no one really wanted to, pick up where MLG left off, except, Barbosa, Joey, Murray and all of them. So, like, we really need to help ourselves this time around. And, maybe we'll get some dev support, maybe not, but we need to just make the most of the game.
Yeah, it's gonna come down really to developer support, to be honest, and then it also comes down to us and what we do with that support, which whatever we get, whether it's a lot, whether it's a little, we gotta take it, milk it, and make the best of it, and that's it. Just we gotta make it work. If we're going to, that's what we have to do. We also have to keep in mind that, remember, we can't expect there to be some ridiculous support because, as Arctic brought up earlier, for all of us, it's going to be coming down to the newer systems also. So we have a short time frame, but we can make a lot out of this time frame if we get a lot of support in the future. So we can start to build it up now, let that snowball start to fall, and let that thing come down all the way down the mountain by the end, and then maybe we got something really big, hopefully, sometime down the road. But
I'm gonna throw this out there, real quick for community support. Like, okay, I always point out the FGC. Now, the FGC fighting game community was real easy because it's two competitors on one screen, right?
Yep.
What I wanted to point out is Devastation. That was in Arizona. My friend Rob Trini, he actually built Devastation, and then IPL saw what he did for he was nowhere near an events manager. He did something else in life, but he always ran this annual thing where he got a whole bunch of fighting game people together in Arizona, and it just grew over 5-6 years. From like garage location to small venue to big venue to hall to convention center, it grew because people just wanted to be part of it. So now what I'm going to tell you guys is it's not hard. Now, if you look at running an event, yes, an event is really hard to run, right? But if you can just get your buddies together and be like, dude, you buy this TV, I'm going to buy the same TV. Have 8 of you guys buy the same damn TV, then you bring your Xboxes all to the same place, you get a $25 Switch, and you have yourself a LAN. Stream it. Tell people to come next time you do it. It's not hard if you think about it like that, when you have, a couple friends that help you out, and then it's just going to grow and be viral because people want to be part of that stuff. So, I'm fronting like an event initiative here, but really it just comes down to just grassroots it. 8 TVs, 8 Xboxes in the same room, and then invite people to join you next time. Mm-hmm. And watch it just grow.
Yeah, I just want to say what Meathead just said in the chat. Awesome idea for you to do, Barbosa. You need to write a blog on how to successfully set up even like the smallest, simplest LAN. Or, do some YouTube vlogs. Just explain to people. Because a lot of people, like, they throw stuff together and they think it's so simple, and then it's just a complete freaking mess. They just don't understand how it all works. You should really look into doing that.
The hype, I got everything ready for the Hypefest channel, the YouTube, the Twitter, the Twitch channel. Everything is in place now, and once Judgment hits, I'm going to be putting all that stuff into those outlets, and I'll keep you guys posted when I do.
Yeah, I talked to Murray. I know he said he's got a lot of stuff planned with you next Hype, and I told him, like, anything you need, I'm down to help. I just want to help this game out.
Thank you.
I know everybody does. I'm just going full on content. Content. That's what you guys need to do. That's what the game needs. All you players, casual, pro, whatever, you want me to support your stuff, tweet it out, fine. I don't care. Let people see it.
Yeah, somebody was saying in the stream that it's also going to come down to the bigger players. You know, the people that are, I don't like using that word, but I guess a little bit that people seem to know. You know, these players, you know, every one of them. When someone tweets at you and they tweet you their content, I don't care if they've never won a LAN in their life. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But if they tweet you, try and say like, hey, yo, Fatal, I got this video. Like, check it out. I'll take that. Boom, retweet it. Let everybody see it. You know, it doesn't matter who they are. If people are trying to push their content a little bit, help them. So what? Who cares? Like, just let them get a little bit bigger, and when they get bigger, everyone else gets bigger, and we just go from there.
I want to say something on that. I'm not going to name names, but a few YouTubers have kind of grouped together to do something similar to that. I think a year ago at this point, or before they did this, they were way smaller than they are now. They all kind of started supporting each other, putting their stuff out, telling them to go here, sharing all their info together in a circle. Their numbers have gone through the roof. Because they're all, I mean, say like I'm streaming. People may know my stream, but even though they watch my stream, even though your stream's right there on the list, they might not even know you exist. And I still have that. People may watch other streams right now, even though I'm not one of the top streams if I'm on a game. They may know this lower end stream, but they still don't even know I'm there. So if everybody just supports everybody, everybody grows. Everybody wins. But then again, not everybody wants to do that. A lot of people are all in it for themselves. I mean, you can't make somebody do it, but the more everybody helps, the better.
It's just a simple retweet, man. Someone tweets it, you're not gonna find it anywhere else. It's not like you're talking to everyone through Facebook or something. Usually through Gal. Gal, pretty much for the most part right now, is done through Twitter. If someone simply sends you content, just take it and hit the green button and retweet it. It's not that hard. Let all your followers see what they're talking about. And people will start to check out their videos a little bit more. Then they check out their videos. Maybe they check out your friends' videos, and who knows what other videos get checked out. But at least there's more views, likes, whatever on those videos. I'm assuming that's how these YouTube guys, I'm not going to mention names, but the ones that are around now that we all know about that are kind of advertised as, I guess, the Gao YouTubers. I mean, I've been playing the game for 6 years. I think I have 2 YouTube videos up. So I'm going to start trying to do it myself, and I hope everyone else follows suit. If you have a stream, use it. How hard is it to make a video, take your microphone, which is probably right there, or in this case for me, right there, and just take it and do a voiceover. You could do a commentary. You could do a view player kind of thing, you know, get their perspective, whatever you want to do. But I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to start trying to do it myself. And I hope other people start trying too. We'll just see where it goes.
All right, we're going to end it on that right now. Been going like, you know, hour and a half-ish, which is a solid amount of time. That's pretty much how long I wanted to go. Thank you to the 330 some odd people who turned in. Like I said in the chat, I didn't expect to get much more than 200. So thank you for all tuning in. I'm just trying to let everybody know the show's back, so please spread the word. Let them know it's back. But we'll see who we'll have on next week. Whether I know Arctic will be on again, Fatal if you want to.
Yep, sure.
Barbosa, Chubbs his hair. You know, it's been...
I'll come back when I have an announcement. How about that? I'll come back when I have an announcement. Leave me out of it for now.
You know, it's been great having everybody on. If you guys want to go in a circle. Oh, also, if you want to follow everybody's Twitters, this is their Twitters right here displayed under their, on their cam. So please follow them out. Now, if you want to start off, Arctic, you have any shout-outs? Go in a circle.
What did I always used to end on? I think I used to end with Razor. Here, I got the hat even. Yeah. Shout out to Razor. No, seriously though, shout out to my teammates. Skyless, who's actually in chat, he was answering some questions and kind of informing some people on some stuff. All you guys, as always, Fatal, Cream, Barbosa, Chubbs, excellent first show. I'm really happy. I'm going to be reposting these like I always used to. This time I'm actually going to put them on my main channel now because people can sit down and watch shit now on my channel. Shout out to the people out there making Gears of War content. Like I said, you guys can expect a lot of content production from me. Whether or not I'm competing or not, that's another thing. But you guys always have my support.
Fatal?
For me, shout out to all the people that constantly, you know, tune in when I stream, everyone else in the Gears of War community, everyone that just, you know, Hypefest Station, obviously, the entire staff for holding the tournament. The people coming out this weekend, all the people that got together and made those 20 teams happen, shout out to everyone that's going to be at the tournament. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. I hope we have a great time. Shout out to the people that have been casting or, trying to do their best and do what they can do and getting involved in that. And, shout out to Gears, as corny that is, I guess. So, that's it from me and all of you guys, of course.
All right, Chubbs is
Thanks
here.
for having me on the show.
Yeah, right. Shout out, to everyone, supporting Gears for the most part. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to my team. I'm really investing a lot in Judgment. Actually, I got it right here. Come Judgment, lethal injections will be coming around. So, got these jerseys made. Nice.
Uh-oh.
So, we'll see what
Unveiling?
happens. And shout out to my sponsors and everything. So,
It's pretty tight.
Barbosa?
Oh, I want to shout out to Joey and Murray. If it wasn't for those guys, it was actually Joey that convinced me to let it happen. I really didn't want it to happen because I thought Gao J was actually just going to kill any initiative, but there's 20 teams later. You guys just love hanging out, so shout out to Joey and Murray for setting that up, local battles, and everybody going. Thanks for supporting. Like, the fact that you guys are just going means a lot, and I can put that in a marketing deck over to sponsors for something I'm working on. But the fact that you guys did that, shout out to everybody going. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to GearsCon. GearsCon, Waldo and Lauren are helping me out a lot with making some decisions right now. And of course, Shawnee, the most hyped commentator I believe right now. And I'd love to have him for something live. So those are my shout outs.
I've never heard of his commentary. Does he have a YouTube with it?
Dude,
he's pretty
everything is
lively.
World Cup. It is like World Cup every
He's
time
pretty
the man
lively,
gets on the
dude.
mic.
Okay.
You gotta listen. To
Shawnee,
the
if you have a link with your commentary, I'd like to actually see it. Post it.
I actually
Yeah,
have
Shawnee.
a video on my YouTube of him screaming
Yeah, he
when
goes
Nick
nuts.
and Jay clutched the 2v4.
I told you guys, everybody's so shocked in chat. I've been so out of the loop with competitive Gears, like I don't know who's doing what now. That's why I'm getting back into it. My bad.
I definitely think the EU commentator. When you just say EU commentator, the only name that comes to mind is Shawnee.
Shawnee.
He's
Yeah.
really good. Like I like no one else comes to my mind when I think about someone who could commentate out there, and he does a fantastic job. So I definitely would like to one day, cast alongside that guy, see what he comes up with.
I'd love to do it too online if he ever wants to do some things, because that's all I'm gonna be doing. For, content, like I said. And I guess I'll do my shout outs now. Although we don't have the stuff to give away yet, Squid Grip and Control Freak are sending me stuff to give away to show support of the show and Gears of War. So next week we'll just have more stuff to give away because we weren't able to do it this week.
Oh, I guess I'll throw in some Razor Sabertooths.
Yeah, go ahead. Next week
Let me get one.
I'll throw
I can't get one of those right now.
Get one. I tried ordering it. Come
I'll
on.
throw that Razor logo on there if Razor wants to really hop on.
I have a couple just out of
God,
not even
it's so-
open.
No, you don't.
Not
Next
even
try.
opened. I have a couple right here. Like
Oh
here's
my
one.
God.
I got one in my
I'm not
room.
look at
Wait, look at that.
Oh,
his face right on the side.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh, dude, turn his mic off. Let's get out of here.
I should hit up Lauren though, see if Razor would want to do anything with the show. But like I said, shout out to Squid Grip and Control Freak for actually showing support. Obviously, Epic and People Can Fly for making the game so we could even do this. Revolution Gaming, I know guy Joey, he's actually trying to do some stuff and throw together some things. So there's another LAN center and more events to do for Gears. I know that he's hosting a free-for-all tournament. I think a couple weeks after Judgment drops.
I think it's maybe 2 weeks.
I think it's the first
afterwards.
week of April he's doing it because I told him I would not be available. I think it's, this weekend's Hype, then the next weekend's PAX, and then the next weekend I'm up in Buffalo, so I told him I wouldn't be available for a few weeks. So I think it's the first weekend of April. And obviously a shout out to everybody trying to make a push for Gears of War. Like Hale said, just put out. Just put out. That should be the motto for Judgment. That really should. Just put out. Spam it everywhere.
I like it.
Already tweeted it out.
Spam it everywhere. Yes, Jawbone, this will be uploaded to YouTube. Active Reload has its own YouTube channel. I'm going to put it on there. Just put out. I really don't know what else to say. Follow the stream. Follow the Twitter. Any more questions, things you'd like to do, tweet at the Active Reload Twitter name, whether you want to work with the show, you'd like to be on the show, you think you have stuff you could contribute to everything, just let me know and let us all know. And tune in to Hypefest Station this weekend. I'll be there alongside with Fatal and Chubbs. Yeah.
Yep. See you there.
So I'll see you guys all this weekend on the cam, and thanks everybody for showing up.
All right.
I'm ready to go. Got it.
Oh, and see you guys next week at the same time. Probably should have said that.
Yeah, whenever you need me, man.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Sorry, not the cleanest sign off, but see you guys next week at 9 p.m. Eastern.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.